Hello and welcome to the No Coach podcast. This is episode 301, a surprising reason we overeat, swallowing our frustrations. I'm your host, Suzanne Culberg. I have worked with many an overeater. If you're listening to this and you don't overeat, I ask you to consider, what is your over? Do you overdrink? Do you over exercise? Do you overwork? Do you overspend? Do you I believe we all have some form of over, a compensation behavior for how we deal with our frustrations when we can't voice them. Over time, many of us have learned to shove down our feelings, not to communicate our needs, not to speak up for ourselves. There could be fear. There could be fear of rejection. There could be fear of repercussion. There could be fear of being shot down, being unheard, being ridiculed. So many reasons. And when we are in a place where we can't voice what's going on for us, and this happens repeatedly, we end up feeling frustrated, resentful, and bitter. And this can be in many places. It can be in the workplace. It can be in our day-to-day lives. It can be a result, like a hang-up from childhood, when we were taught children should be can't even say it. Children should be seen and not heard. Like it was some badge of honor that the children never spoke up and the children weren't wanting or demanding or needing. The children sat in the corner, nice and quietly, kept their hands to themselves, didn't ask for anything, didn't take anything. And as an adult, we have lost or perhaps never fostered an ability to speak up. And those around us can take advantage of that, sometimes knowingly and sometimes unwittingly. Oh, she's such a lovely person. Give you the shirt off her back. Do anything for you. And when we don't speak up for ourselves, as I said, because we don't know how, it's never been modeled to us, we've been shot down for doing it in the past, the feelings that come up, the frustration, the resentment, the bitterness, we need to find a way to transmute that or shove that down. And many of us do that by over-consuming, by literally swallowing our frustrations. Have you ever been in a circumstance where you're just so irritated that you've got no ability to voice it? And next thing, you're standing in front of the pantry, scarfing Tim Tams. If you're not from Australia, Tim Tams is like a chocolate biscuit or a cookie, depending on where you are in the world. Chocolate, chips, cake, because you're literally swallowing that frustration that you cannot voice. So as an adult, it's time to relearn the ability to speak up, to trust that those around us can take our opposing perspectives on board and understand that it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like as a child, that may have risked the relationship. You have maybe been taught never speak up, never ask for anything, never do anything like that. But the behavior that as a child was adaptive, now as an adult is maladaptive. And I'm thinking of, friendships in the past that have, for me personally, waned over time, that I realized I was a hard friend to have. What do you want to do? Whatever you want to do. Like I never spoke up. And that's hard to have relationships with someone who doesn't have an opinion, doesn't want to do anything, doesn't initiate anything, because, there's such a thing about like a healthy debate. And then many of us people pleasers, who are doormats, who are the yes people, who do everything for everyone, get to a point where we're so frustrated, we end up becoming the exploding doormats. And they say, for somebody who has never shouted, we end up screaming. There is a healthy expression of frustration or dissatisfaction or anger, or there is a healthy debate to say, this is how I'm feeling. That doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship or the workplace or the connection is going to end. People can hold us. It's what I love about the work that I do with clients and, recapturing that voice. I remember in one of my Why Wait programs once, I said something about, because I'm introverted, highly sensitive, socially awkward introvert. And I said in a group call that all the world says introverts should speak up, but no one ever tells extroverts to shut up. Like, it's a pet peeve that I have. And she fired right back at me and said, Suzanne, I'm an extrovert, and all my life I've always been told, keep quiet, pipe down, don't talk. And I loved that we'd had a totally opposing experience. Not that we'd had the experience and that she's been told that, don't take that the wrong way, but I love that she could voice that. That hasn't been my experience. That hasn't been my truth. Or if someone shares something and it's tough and it's challenging, the ability to speak it up in the first place and share it, I love that. But the ability for other people to say, I can't believe that happened to you. Not to say that you're lying or making it up, but have the space to voice these frustrations, these resentments, these bitternesses that have literally been swallowed or shoved down for years or maybe even decades. Healing truly happens in community, and to have a space where somebody or some people can hold that for you, where you can speak up and share and realize that you're not going to be rejected or you're not going to be shot down, doesn't mean everybody is going to agree with you. Like, it's not about getting everybody on side. We're not a high school posse kind of cool kids club where, we all need to click together. We can have differences of opinion and still be seen as and valued and loved exactly as we are. There is so much in life where, we don't set boundaries. We don't speak up for ourselves. We don't want to risk, it's like walking on eggshells around people or bosses or workplaces. But life isn't about never having a rupture. Life is about how we repair, how we move forward, how we grow stronger. I've spoken about this before, but it bears repeating. For my Harry Potter fans in the house, you're going to get it straight away. If you're not a Harry Potter fan, I'm going to give you a bit of reference. In Harry Potter, they have what's called a boggart. Now, a boggart is your biggest fear. And for each individual person, your boggart will show up differently. Like, I'm absolutely petrified of spiders. So if there was a boggart, it'd probably take the shape of a spider, or it might take the space of public speaking, which you might laugh at because I do a podcast every single day, but this is from the comfort of my own home. I'm not up on stage in front of goodness knows how many people, but everybody's boggart is different. And at Hogwarts, which is the school for magic, the students learn a charm or a spell called a Patronus, which is to transform. No, not boggart. Ridiculous. Sorry, I'm talking about something else. But the ridiculous charm, which transforms the boggart into something amusing so it doesn't have the power over them. Life isn't about avoiding our boggarts, hiding in the cupboard, never going anywhere, never risking anything. Life isn't about swallowing our frustrations and never rocking the boat. And then from there, because we never speak up, end up screaming and exploding. Life is about strengthening our ridiculous charm so that when the fears come, when the things come up, when the rupture happens, we know how to repair, we know how to move forward, we know how to grow stronger. Because I don't know about you, but I don't ever want to live in a world where people just agree with me all the time. I love a healthy sense of debate. I love difference of opinions. I love a good loggerheads, not to get everybody on side, but to go, what do you truly think about this? At the time of recording this, Taylor Swift is, doing the rounds around Australia, doing her tour. Some people absolutely love her. Some people vehemently can't stand her. My daughter, I didn't know she was like a closet fan, but now it's out. She's just like singing her all the time. And I love that she loves Taylor Swift, but I don't necessarily love hearing all her songs constantly on repeat, being blared out by my daughter. But it was funny. We were somewhere and someone said to her, "Oh, darling, you have a beautiful voice. Are you in a choir?" I thought that was amusing. I was like, maybe she does have a beautiful voice if you didn't have to listen to this on repeat. But, we can all be passionate about and love the things that we love, and other people can love that we love them without necessarily meaning they need to love them too. If we were going to go on a road trip, maybe we'd all take turns. We could play one album of Taylor Swift, and then I'm a Pink fan. One album of Pink, and then with my husband, goodness knows. But it's about each person in a relationship, in a workplace, in a space, having the ability to speak up for ourselves, to communicate what our needs are, and not has us all necessarily being singing kumbaya and being on the same page, but not feeling so constantly frustrated that we can't speak up for ourselves, that we end up swallowing our frustration by overeating, overworking, over exercising. You might laugh at over exercising, but anything done to excess is never healthy or good for you. Over shopping, gambling, drinking. Because how much of our lives do we dedicate to trying to find the right program or the right diet or the right thing? Because we all know what to do, we just don't do it. So my invitation for you today is to consider, what if it's not about finding the right diet or program or thing, planner? What if, the reason that you know what to do and you just don't do it is because in some way you're feeling frustrated, resentful, and bitter, and you're shoving that down and you're literally swallowing it, with food or with this activity, instead of being able to rightfully express your annoyance or your frustration. How can you start to do that? It's not going to be instant. It's not going to be overnight. Knowing the problem doesn't immediately give you a solution. If I was driving my car down the road and I kept veering left and I pull over and I've got a flat tire and I realize I have a flat tire, that doesn't instantly fix it. I still need to get out the jack, get out the spare, change it over. So you might listen to this episode and go, okay, yeah, I get it. I swallow my frustrations a lot. Just because you know doesn't mean instantly you're never going to do this again. This is the work that I do with people. And if you want to know more, go to my website, suzanneculberg.com, read through. You can book a chat to have a call with me to see whether we're fit to work together. This is a process. Unlearning all these things that we've kept on board and relearning the neglected art of speaking up for ourselves is a process. And that's the work that I do. And I'd love to invite you, if it feels like a fit, to explore that further. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to catch you on the next one. Bye for now.